Hello, I'm Noah Vortex, and this is going to be a quick tutorial on building a board game interface with some basic functionality. The board game itself is going to be just a quote generator, which will generate a quote based on the mood you select. So this is going to be quite an unusual one because I'm going to be basically generate philosophical quotes from a philosopher I like called ML, and we'll be covering using React, create a basic React app. So we're using React as the JavaScript framework, and I'll cover some of the how to use that, how to set up that project, and yeah. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is I'm going to try and make this as fast as I can. I don't want it to be too rambling and long. So let's go. Okay, so first things first, we are in our project. So I've got my IDE here, Visual Studio Code. I'm opening a new terminal, and then we're using this repo called Create React App just to get up and running fast. So let's follow the instructions there. So in my project folder, NPX. So first off, as I was saying, we want to do our command to get the Create React App package copied into our local computer. So we're going to type in npx create react app, which will download the repo, and then we also want to call this Qlon app, which is where the repository files will be copied into the folder which the repository files will be copied into. So I do that now in the terminal, or your PowerShell, whichever shell you're in. If you're using VS Code, just go to terminal and do this in your root directory, and we see it's installing. By the power of Node Package Manager, everything is being installed, which is good. Now when we do this, the first thing we're going to want to do is, there we go, creating a new React app, installing packages, blah blah blah, React DOM, React scripts, blah blah blah. Wait for this to finish. It's a bit bigger so you can see it fully. So that's just doing that. So let's talk while this is doing this. So first thing we're going to be doing is doing a simple grid layout, probably 6. We have to figure out a place where the quotes come up and a place where you can select moods. So I want to do it as a grid, maybe with an on click, changing the state of the mood for possibly a long amount of time, possibly a short amount of time, who knows, this is development. You'll get the following. So we've got our folder structure here, folder with all our React files in there, our dependencies and package JSON, which should have been installed. The good thing about Create React App is that it just, instead of having to mess around with variable and web packages, does a lot of that for you. So if I type npm start now, you type npm start into your terminal. If I actually go into the first need to go into the directory which you've created, which is Qlon app in this case, then run npm start, because it won't work. Does that make sense? There we go. That's the boot up script, which is, so this will be the actual React application loading up that will just run locally. So got it running locally here. There we go. Da la la la, da 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 da, etc. We've got the actual React page working. Now I just need to make it do something. So currently, this is what it's loading, just app. Now we could obviously go into creating components and things. but I think this is probably just going to be a one-page app, so we might have to make some components. I'm not sure. Maybe like a modal or something, but probably most of the action is going to be going on here. So first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to install React Strap. I don't think it's already installed, so I can get access to pre-built components. No, it's not. So this is how you install basically another package you want to use. So React, I think it's just React Strap. I'll just double check this. NPM, So I think it's just React Strap, all one word. So what does this give us? It gives us just components from lots of Bootstrap classes and that. Bootstrap, if you don't know, is like a mobile first web framework. React Strap. Oh, sorry. Let's go NPM install, which just basically means that you install a new package. React Strap, and then we want to do have save, which saves it as a dependency in our package JSON. And now we can import that into and use the components from React Strap in our project. So I have to wait for it to download. Blah blah blah. It'll give you some messages maybe about dependencies, maybe certain things are deprecated. Blah blah blah. Most of the time, there's nothing too much to worry about. I guess maybe sometimes you worry about warnings, like severe warnings just coming from red, but you don't usually get those sort of things, and most packages are sort of fine, to be honest. Okay, so zero vulnerability is good. Okay, so let's go to app and start changing something. So React front end is JSX. So JSX is like this weird mix of JavaScript and HTML. It's very perplexing if you're used to just coming from vanilla JS or even jQuery, because if you've been writing those things before, you wouldn't be writing JavaScript this way. So it's quite perplexing. I found it rather weird at first, but once you get used to it, it sort of makes sense. So what do we want to do? We want to import React Strap, so we just import React Strap, the entire library. Just want to do this the easiest way. So we want to import the library now so that we can use it, basically. And yeah, so well, actually we can import all, or we can import certain things from React Strap. So first, I guess let's just import a button, which is a button element from React Strap. Probably better for just to import the bits that you need, really easily. React Strap, and so then now you can use now button. So if I go as a, so that then creates a React Strap button element because we've imported the package in there. And let's just go generate a quote because that's the first thing we want to be doing. We'll delete this because we don't need it, and then maybe create some markup here like Kieron quote generator. So as you can see, JSX is just it's a weird mix of HTML and React's JavaScript framework. Okay, so let's just save that. Oh, wait a second. I might have to. If it's still running or not. Okay. It'll tell me anyway if it is. There is a way to set up hot loading, but I'm not going to cover that in this one. Or I can't remember if it's automatically set up with that on this Create React app, but we'll find out in a second. There we go. So doesn't do anything at the minute. La la la. I guess we're going to want a picture of Quran. That'd be quite good. He was this sort of dour Iranian philosopher who I found quite interesting. Not everyone's cup of tea probably, but it's like aphorisms and things like this. So that's, and he's quite photogenic as well. Looks a bit like a sort of David Lynch sort of character. So this is a good one of him. Let's get this photo of him and then replace this. So, sorry if I can't see on the screen. I'm grabbing a photo of Kieron. Probably breaking copyright law, but there you go. We're on the webs. Into here, into here, into, I think you put it in source, I think you put it in source, the JPEGs. So I'm just putting it in the source folder here, it's just in the exact same, I think that's a bit, oh it might be public even, I can't remember. Yeah, public, so remove that. For images, and then want to import. Yeah, so we go, put it in your public folder for any images you want to put in. Import, now what is it? Shit, sorry. Import Kieron, not that. Kieron pick from Ding, so you get to go up one from the directory. Actually, I'll just find out this. No. Seems that to. Well, that should hopefully work. Oh, I got my backslashes mixed up, didn't I? Still can't find it. Oh, such a school error. It needs to be in the same directory. There we go. Ha! That's pretty cool. So now we've got a spinning head. I forgot the animation was on it, but that always works better than what I had planned. We want to take off that low. We want to take off this here because it doesn't do anything for us now. It's just something left over from the female bob. Bottom from React straps is on there. Maybe we want to style it up a bit. It looks a bit plain, the button, so let's just go to React strap and find the come on, components button. This is probably going to end up being a bit longer than I anticipated this tutorial. So we want to style it with make it large, yes, and just go size large. So make it a bit small in a minute. Put it up. Wait for this to load. It's taking its time. What? What? Okay, so next thing you want to do is, I forgot, was to install, we have to install Bootstrap as well, separately. It's not very clear, but there we go. So we'll install the Bootstrap packages we need. The reason I wasn't getting the styling before is because I've forgotten to separately install Bootstrap. This is the way it is with running anything on Node often. It's just, you just forget things sometimes. You just have to usually Just install a bunch of, I think I've got React DOM on here already. Let's just see. Pretty sure React DOM's already installed, but I'm just double checking them. Okay, now we've got the CSS should be dependency should be installed now, hopefully. Boot up again. I just completely forgot about the Bootstrap installing separately. I'm only human after all. And there we go. Looks better. So a few things. I think I want to change the image. I think it would make more sense for the title to be at the top and the image below. So let's just do that quickly. So pretty much just swap these two bits of markup around. That's it. Should work. Okay. There we go. It's a bit more sensible. Maybe just add some margins on the image. So we've got image, class name is app logo. So we go to our CSS, app logo, and just add margin. I don't know, something like 100 pixel. Just do it that way for first. So add 100 pixels all the way around. There we go. There we go. So that's a bit more sensible. Maybe now we want a div for our quotes to appear. That would be quite cool. Maybe I'm going to align this to the left as well. So I'm going to align the spinning head to the left, and a like speech bubble right somewhere, which I'll build. So let's just do add a float left here. See if that works. How this is working. Just testing out a few different methods of doing this. That would be good. Still quite sort of like the floating. Checking for cross-browser compatibility. Yep, on iPhone looks okay still, apart from the quotes disappeared, but it's not too bad, apart from I need to obviously fix the button. You have to scroll down a bit, which is a bit, yeah. But anyway, so what have I done there? I've added, floated it to the left, I like giving it a margin. Actually, I need to do one here as well, because I just did it within the dev tools. That can be useful sometimes, I find anyway, personally. I don't know if everyone would like doing that, but I find personally I like doing that sometimes just to see how something looks in your layout and your front end with CSS. Just make it a bit less so. I'm going to start off a bit more, I think. So let's give it some margin. Margin, right, 60%. Because we're on the model, we're giving it a margin on its right, on the elements right, so margin right. 6%. We can fix this up later. Just sort of doing it as we go along. Okay, that's what it looks like on mobile. Let's stick that to desktop. Okay. So next we want to create a, like I said, I think we want to have like a speech where the actual text will appear, like a sort of bubble. So let's add speech quote bubble, makes more sense. I want to give it camel casing. Well, the rest of it doesn't do that, but so I suppose technically, if you want to do it properly, you're going to do like that because it's consistent under the other CSS classes. Quote bubble, background color, background. Let's put white for now. Hexes. And then we want to give it some, probably, you can position it absolutely, probably actually. So we want to give it absolute positioning. Okay, so we've created a quote bubble, now let's add it in as a div. Okay, div, class name, remembering that in React we don't add class like we do in normal HTML, it's class name with the uppercase N. It's just one of those quirks you have to get used to in React, quote bubble. Quote bubble, capital Q, and just put some text. This is where quote bubble's going to go. I'm just going to put for now some text just to see if it works. There we go. Apart from the background's not worked for some reason. Oh, forgot the hash on here. There we go. That's because so now we see that we've colour. Let's change the text colour to black. It should, there we go, some text. Now it looks a bit, so let's give it a minimum width, which basically just means it has to be at least this. Try minimum width for now. Probably less than that. Okay, and then I want to give it round. Same round corners if you want to give something round corners like an element. You border radius. And then leave it 5, make it quite obvious at 10 pixels. Border radius 10 pixels. Okay. Cool, that looks a bit more now like a speech bubble of some sort. Very rudimentary, but also going to make the text size smaller. So font hyphen size, and then make it 1 EM. Mobile responsiveness. Maybe not 1 EM actually. That's a bit smaller, as you can tell. Let's just see what that looks like on mobile. Okay, I'll have to do some sort of fix on that. I'll change it. We'll worry about responsiveness later. For now, we just want to go there. And that's all looks okay for that. So, that's a concern for later anyway. So we've got a basic layout for the app. I think I might change the background colour to black instead of that grey colour. Just going to make it pure black. I think it would be better. There we go. Okay. Now we need some buttons in there for moods. So, like I said before, the whole idea of this thing is that you're going to have different moods you can click, which will then generate the text. Maybe we want to. So let's do that next. So we've already got our button markup here. So let's just add this. And put H2, maybe H3, I guess. mood, and then we want to create probably a grid or something. Let's just for now put melancholic. Okay. So I've got. Oh, I also want to put in row and. I'm going to now import in row and col from React Strap, which allows us to create layout markup a bit more easier. So I'll create a new row by doing this. So capitalized means that it's going to grab that imported in element from React Strap. In this case, a row, because I want to create a new row. And then I want to create a col. Probably like this, I think. So the initial way I'm thinking of doing this. Actually, I won't have to do that. I'll just have to do this, I think. Depends. Just go. See if that works. Yeah. So you just need a bit of spacing in between, but basically, if you want to create. And then if we wanted a new row, we go row, and then same again, which will create a new row of these elements. And I'll show you how we're going to add some padding, because this supports Bootstrap classes, padding and margins. There we go. So now we've got, yeah, there you can see we've got overwhelmingly melancholic moods. So let's just add some styling margin 2, class name M2, which basically means margin 2 all around the element, in this case a button. Okay, so this is our layout so far. It obviously needs a lot of tweaking, but we've got that sort of base. So what do we want to do next? We want to add margins on these other classes as well down here. So if you go class, all this does is there's a bunch of pre-compiled CSS and Bootstrap, and it's just adding these margins around there. It just saves a bit of time writing it yourself. That needs to be changed actually, for some reason it's large. Let's go down to that one. Okay. There we go. And maybe we want to create. Let's just see what's created. Probably put generate a quote a bit further up, I think. So we'll give it that. Put it directly below the H2 element, just so it looks a bit better. Just makes more sense being there. Probably actually. This is called designing on the fly. I want to put it into just below here maybe. So it was before. I need to change all these. This wants to be generic button, I think. So I'll take off this danger, that's just because I copied and pasted it. So just select these. That one. I'll probably change it to information or something, but I'm just going to leave it like that grey. Okay, so I guess the next thing we want to do, that's the base layout done. I want to make this a large button, I think. So I think I can do this. Size large, which makes it a bit bigger. So it separates it a bit out from that. Separates this from these ones, and each one of these will set state, so I'll explain a bit more about that in a second. I'm going to reduce the amount there because it's too many, and then we've almost got our first part of our create react done, just the sort of layout bit, or the most basic part of it, the most basic part there, that initial part of the philosophy generator done. And now I sort of think I want to move this back up again, being very being very particular, sorry. Maybe move it into the quote. Yeah, and that should still, and also want to add some margins on this. Some padding even, so if we go P2. Sorry, I just added in the wrong place really, so we go margin 2. Even make margin 4. I probably want to do margin 4, make it a bit more spaced out. That's better. So that looks a bit better now. Let's just see what it looks like on mobile. So let's have a look. Not too bad on iPad. Looks pretty good on iPad. Bit of too much space, but that looks okay. That's basically what I want to do. Bit scrollable in landscape, but that's sort of quite normal. Okay, so that's the first part of this React tutorial using Create React app. Next, part 2, what we're gonna be doing is actually adding functionality. So actually doing some JavaScript coding. I'll just tidy this up a bit while I talk about that. So we're going to be adding some state management, and I'll talk a bit about states. Yeah. So this is, we're going to have, and we're also going to have a variable object in there which has got the different quotes that you can bring up as a user. So I hope that's been alright. It's been a bit of a struggle some parts of this tutorial because just forgot a few things while I was doing it, but I hope it was useful in some sense. Also, most of what I've gone through is just using Create layout with React Strap and getting Create React app up and running, but we've got a starting point there anyway, so tune in for part 2. I'll link it below once it's up. Yeah, I've been all I know. Thanks.